You were charged on warrant numbers 2015-838-107-00491 and 2015-838-107-00492. State versus you on both. On 0491, you were charged with possession of controlled substance. Are you aware of that charge?
Yes, sir.
And on warrant number 0492, you were charged with failure to stop for a blue light or siren. Are you aware of that charge?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about your charges, sir?
No, sir.
Any questions about your right that I've explained to you?
No, sir.
Anything from the county or from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. Myself and the solicitor would wish to speak as far as the, Your Honor, I'm going to cover what the actual charges, which are the warrants that I have here, on what actually brought him here into court today, and then the solicitor is going to expound a little bit on his past criminal history and our position in this case. Okay. Your Honor, this incident stemmed from the current charges, Your Honor. Tuesday afternoon, we located Mr. Smith in an apartment complex over off of Mingo Street, Your Honor. We were assembling a team to go in and basically go in and get him because we weren't going to take any chances with his history of fighting officers, failure to stop for blue light, his past criminal history. I mean, he's a violent individual, Your Honor. Myself and Lieutenant Furtick were watching the house, waiting on the rest of the team to arrive. Mr. Smith had no idea that we even knew where he was at. He came out and attempted to get in his vehicle and leave. Your Honor, at that time, Lieutenant Furtick and I both arrived in our vehicles. He was sitting stationary in his car. He recognized us as the police. We had our blue lights on. He chose, right then and there, he chose to flee the scene. Your Honor, we went down Mingo Street. You're familiar with there. We went down Mingo. He crossed over Gulf Avenue, Your Honor, in excess of 100 miles an hour. Never even slowed down for a stop sign. You know how much traffic goes up and down Gulf Avenue. All these college students. Could have been my mom, your mom, anybody else. Up Ashley Street, back down Gulf, back down Mingo, went through the Bojangles parking lot, Your Honor, every bit of 80 miles an hour, 12:15 in the afternoon. You know how much traffic's around Shell Bojangles that time of the day. People running for their lives. Down Highway 33, he ended up losing control because he had, his tire blew out and he lost control at Old Ellery Road. And he got out and attempted to flee. Once we got there, he still could have given up. He attempted to flee and ended up getting pinned in the door of his car because he jumped out and tried to run with the car still in gear, and it rolled into another car and pinned his leg in the door. But all that to say, Your Honor, and I've been in law enforcement since 2002. I've been in a fair amount of chases trying to apprehend somebody. I've never had, in my experience, I've never had anybody show that much reckless disregard for the general public, not only endangering myself and all the other officers that were trying, because it was just Lieutenant Furtick and myself initially. So then everybody else had to drive twice as fast trying to get there to assist us, endangering everybody, endangering himself, me, the other officers, the general public, just total, absolute, Your Honor, disregard for everyone. His charge actually is failure to stop for a blue light, second or subsequent, Your Honor. He has 2 or 3 prior convictions for failure to stop for a blue light siren. His marijuana charge actually is going to be upgraded, Your Honor. I charged him with possession with intent to distribute the narcotics, and it's actually going to be a, after examining his criminal history, Your Honor, it's going to be a third offense on that. But that's just basically so you know, and again, Your Honor, this isn't something that that I had evidence that pointed me to or something that I have to interpret. This happened in my presence. I mean, I was the one that was right there behind him with the other units. I mean, this it's not a weak case. I mean, he definitely put all of us and the general public in danger with no regard whatsoever, as well as still having the narcotics. But anyway, I'm gonna turn it over to the solicitor now, Your Honor, and he can tell you more thoroughly about what other things has happened prior to him coming to Orangeburg County in this incident right here.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
David Pasco with the First Circuit Solicitor's Office.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for allowing me in your courtroom today. It's an honor. The state has requested that the defendant's bond be denied in this matter. Indeed, the facts that Investigator Godwin just went over illustrate and demonstrate what a flight risk this defendant is. Just some more background on the facts, Your Honor, why they even went to go look for this defendant. Back on the morning of Wednesday, July the 15th, just last week, the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office was called to 7050 Old State Road in Holly Hill for a quadruple homicide and attempted murder of another individual. Your Honor, this was an execution, an attempted execution of 5 people that morning on Wednesday the 15th. Earlier this week, the defendant was developed as a person of interest that law enforcement wanted to talk to. And I want to make that perfectly clear. He's not right now a main suspect, but he is definitely a person of interest that law enforcement wanted to talk to with regards to that quadruple murder in Holly Hill. The defendant, and this really goes to, again, how he's a flight risk, Your Honor. He's from Berkeley County, but he's very transient and can be hard to locate. Indeed, he is wanted in Somerville right now on a criminal domestic violence warrant and in Berkeley County on a general sessions bench warrant for failing to appear for court on a strong arm robbery charge. With the help, however, of federal authorities, the Marshal's Office, and other local law enforcement, we were able to locate, the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office was able to locate the defendant right here in Orangeburg County, in fact, right around the town limits of Orangeburg County. And again, Investigator Godwin went through for you how dangerous a chase this was with the defendant. And what they wanted to do was question him about his knowledge of that Holly Hill quadruple murder. The defendant's record, Your Honor, is very extensive. Despite the fact that he's only 27 years old, he's basically been in trouble for something serious every year of his adult life. Again, I've mentioned he's wanted in both Somerville and Berkeley County on charges. For one of those charges for failing to show up for court, which shows he's a flight risk. On January the 14th, 2015, he was convicted of assault and battery third. That was reduced from assault and battery first offense, but he got a conviction for that. September the 12th, 2013, he was convicted of failure to stop for a blue light. He went to prison for that charge for 3 years. He also went to prison for 4 years on the charge of possession of crack cocaine, second offense. He had an attempted murder charge, but it looks like that might have been dismissed as a result of a negotiated plea in 2013. 2012, he has a strong arm robbery charge with no disposition. 2011, he was convicted of unlawful carrying of a weapon, received 1 year probation. He was also convicted of assault and battery second degree. He got 2 years probation. 2010, possession of crack cocaine reduced from trafficking crack, where he received 3 years suspended on probation. He also has a DUS conviction that year. 2008, he was arrested for threatening the life of a public official. There's no disposition on that. 2007, he was convicted of discharging a firearm into a dwelling. He received 2 years in prison for that charge. And in 2006, Your Honor, he was charged with both assault with intent to kill and murder. Those charges were dismissed by the Berkeley County Solicitor's Office in 2009, and I'm in talks with them right now trying to find out what the facts are of that 2009 murder that he was originally charged with. Again, due to the seriousness of these charges, he's looking at a lot of time just on the charges here in Orangeburg County alone. The way he tried to elude police, the fact that he has an incredibly extensive criminal record every single year since the day he became an adult. And it appears from his rap sheet that he's been in trouble since he was a juvenile. He's in DJJ custody prior to becoming an adult. When you put all that together, there is no way this individual should get a bond at this time. And we would ask that his bond be denied. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
All right. If the courts find you not guilty in the charge, right, why are they still able to bring it up in the court system?
This is not a trial, and
Okay,
Mr.
I
Smith,
understand.
it's a bond hearing. Because of the history, and because there were multiple convictions, and because you were convicted and spent time in prison,
Yes, sir.
and with the egregiousness of this offense, which was just shared to me with by Detective Godwin, the court will make a proper decision in that and probably go ahead and grant the motion for the state to deny bond. You have a right to have an attorney represent you. As I told you, this is your preliminary hearing form. If you decide to have a preliminary hearing, you'll need to fill this portion out, send it back to this address in the middle within 10 days of the date that is dated here. If you fail to do it in a 10-day period, you lose your right to a preliminary hearing. This is an application for a public defendant to assist you with your defense. It's your responsibility to fill this out, get it back to the folks at the jail, and they'll get it to the proper people to determine your eligibility for a public defender. Anything else from you, sir, before I proceed to set your bond?
Your Honor, all of this is what they're putting together as me, or it's trying to say about me. I'm not that type of guy. I have kids of my own. Orangeburg County, I got awareness last week that they were looking for me and they had my name misplaced with someone else's name. I would never ever harm nobody's family or their children. I might fight somebody, as you can see, my record consists of that. Like, I will fight you. But as far as committing other things with guns, everybody totes them. That's like life, because of so many things that's going on in the streets right now. But as far as the way they're trying to put me here today in the front of these courts, like I'm a menace to society, I ran from them because I didn't want to go back to jail. I just came back from doing prison time. But everything else, or what these guys are trying to put their misconception out, or how their officers tased me 7 different times with 7 different tasers, inboxed me in my eye, in the back of my head, and split my face, and got my leg all bruised up, what does that give them? There should be the menaces, because if I'm already on the ground with my hands behind my back, why are you still sticking tasers to my neck trying to bust my heart? And they already told my family that when they got a hold of me that they was going to try to kill me. This has been told to me since last week, phone calls. And I'm like, I'm not going to turn myself into them because of the simple fact that I had warrants and I was waiting until I got my money together to finish paying for my lawyer. But what I don't get is, how could I not get a bond for a failure to start for blue light? They're trying to hold me for their investigation of a whole nother case I have nothing involved with.
Sir, under the South Carolina state law, possession with intent to distribute any controlled substance can be viewed as a violent crime. In any violent crime, the state gave me the right to deny bond on you.
All right,
and the court is denying bond on both of these, being that the charges of the possession with marijuana is going to be updated to distribution. That is a felony charge, and the court is denying bond upon you at this time.
Thank you, Your
Thank you, Your
Honor.
Honor.
Let me give him his checklist.
I'll give it to him.
There's a copy of your checklist, Mr. Smith, stating that the court has given you your rights and you were apprised of those rights and you understood them as I explained them to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.